Okay, back again, and if you ain't off like your old man, you'll be full of opinions, as they say, and TLC is done, and there's a lot to talk about. So, I'll do it kind of match by match. Now, the first match I remember was the Rhodes Scholars versus, Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara. Great way to open the show. Cody's moustache got a lot of chance again, which is quite interesting. Damien Sandow did a good opening speech promo, if you want to call it that, and obviously Rhodes Scholars won the match, which was good, and I'm happy about. And it looks like they're actually trying to build tag teams up again, which is a good thing because they've ignored tag team wrestling for such a long time now. And I just hope it's not too late, and I hope that they can actually get people interested in that kind of wrestling or in that kind of attraction. End of the match, or finish of the match, was quite good. Sorry, I'm picking my nose. As Sin Cara leaps up to do a springboard, Cody runs in, shoves him right off. Sin Cara goes right through the table. That was a really good way to end the match. I thought it was a good way to start the show. Second match was Cesaro versus R-Truth. Cesaro won. Now, my only gripe about that thing is that, to me, while I like Cesaro, while I think he's perfect for that company, I've always liked him when he's Claudio Castagnoli in CZW and ROH and Shikara. The one thing that I think that's holding him back is his gimmick, and I find that he has this dated gimmick that doesn't really click in the kind of way that they would hope they would. It's a lot like the Rene Dupree 2004 after he left La Resistance gimmick. It's a lot like the Ludwig Borger gimmick of 93. And while Cesaro Castagnoli, whichever name you want to call him, is better than both by leaps and bounds, the gimmick just doesn't... It's dated, and the material is dated. And you've got a guy, mocking people for being American. And then, so you're supposed to be proud of being American. And then in a segment later on with the 3-man rock band, you've got someone, if you know what I mean, or you know where I'm going, it's a straight... I've never really been too keen on these kind of gimmicks. Anyways, Cesaro won, and that was good. The next thing was R-Truth. Kofi Kingston and Wade Barrett. Now, I said that I would riot on the streets of Palmer's Green if Wade didn't win. Wade didn't win. I'm not really going to riot on the streets of Palmer's Green. But it's interesting to me because apparently it's said within the company that they really want to make Wade Barrett into something special for next year. And I'm thinking, well, why don't you start the process now? But him losing to Kofi doesn't necessarily hurt him right now. If they just had him on a continuous losing streak, losing match after match after match, or he's just not in anything relevant, then that would hurt him. So losing tonight doesn't necessarily hurt him. We'll see what they do. Now the next match to talk about was the TLC match. Now, when I talked about this in the previous recording, I was interrupted. I hope to God I'm not interrupted, because if I am interrupted, YouTube, you might witness my version of a Christian Bale outburst. I'm just going to leave it at that. So, the TLC match was tremendous. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good way to introduce them, the Shield, in a way, and it was a good usage of Kane and Bryan and Ryback. Interesting thing that when Ryback came out, the crowd weren't too respondent to him. Every time he was doing something, they would chant Goldberg, 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 which was quite funny. The Brooklyn crowd really started to ride him, but I think they started to warm to him towards the end. The person who seemed to be the most over seemed to be Daniel Bryan, and again, to me, he's significantly better than Chris Benoit. I don't know why people want to debate with me that he's not. He only had to do two things in that match, and he was like more over than stuff I've seen Benoit do in matches. But the point is, the Shield looked great. I thought they were presented very well as these rabid mercenaries, almost dressed like the Expendables, by the way. But these mercenaries isolating people, beating them up every time The opposing team looked like they were going to win, finding ways of taking him out. Roman Reigns looked like an absolute monster when he charged Kane through and speared him through the barricades. I thought that was a great spot and a nice touch when they kind of put all the things over him to, so he couldn't get back up. The ending was great, although poor Seth Rollins, I hope that guy hasn't got a concussion because he took a nasty landing. I mean, it was an impressive looking bump, but I was like, man, I hope he, protected his head there. Great way to set them up. And it was, to me, that is exactly how Nexus should have been booked at SummerSlam 2010. Ryback was on that match, ironically enough. But anyways, they looked good. They looked strong. They didn't take away from them. They didn't have them get destroyed. They did enough where I wouldn't mind seeing that match again and it wouldn't hurt my feelings. And of course, Dean Ambrose winning, I mean, what more could you ask for? So after that, what was there? There was a Divas match between Naomi and Caitlyn. I'm going to be really honest. Naomi and Caitlyn? No, Naomi and Eve. Tells you how much attention I pay to the Divas. To tell you the truth, I went and made myself a bowl of Weetabix when that match was on. And I came back and the bit I saw, Eve won. She's doing this gimmick now where after she wins matches they're taking pictures and she's posing and doing all this, which is fine. To be honest, the Divas, they need something. They need something right now. And unfortunately one of those things that they needed is no longer in the company, in Karma. And Beth Phoenix is gone and Natalya Neidhart is treading water, so listen, the Divas need a revamp, that's what I'm going to say. Sheamus and Big Show. Now, there were different theories about what was going to happen. I know some people who believed that Ziggler was going to come out at this match, cash it in, then the main event would be for the title. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. It was Big Show Sheamus, straight match with the chairs. It was nowhere near as good as the match they had 2 pay-per-views ago. That was an excellent match, by the way. But it did pick up towards the end. There was a moment where it looked like Sheamus was going to win, when Big Show was grabbing him by the throat and he had the 2 tables or 2 chairs set up. Sheamus powers up, puts him through the both. It looked like he was going to win, and it didn't happen. Eventually Show won the match when he brought in the oversized chair, which was quite a nice little touch there. I wonder what they're going to do with Sheamus next. That's interesting. Show is being booked like a dominant champion. They're not going to do someone cash it in and beat him. It looks like they want to keep him strong, and I wouldn't be surprised if he loses the belt at Elimination Chamber probably, or maybe even WrestleMania. Do what they should have done with Mark Henry this year but didn't. Sheamus, you know what, I don't dislike Sheamus. I kind of like Sheamus, but I don't see him as this overwhelmingly popular babyface character right now. There's something missing. I can't quite tell you what it is, and at times I can tell you what it is, but at this time in the morning it's way too late. I can't even function right. It's just something missing with the Sheamus package, and when he's beaten convincingly twice, kind of makes me wonder what they're going to do with him next. Where do they go with him next? It's alleged that Randy Orton's turning heel, so maybe he'll do something there. I didn't miss Randy Orton on this show, by the way. It was interesting. Now, the next thing was the main event. The main event was John Cena versus Dolph Ziggler. And before that, they had Cena doing these feint punches. AJ Lee comes skipping over to him. John says something to her. I can't remember what. But I just got the feeling AJ's going to turn. She went skipping off. Match starts. I love the fact that the Brooklyn crowd booed the hell out of Cena. And I mean hated Cena. They did not want him to win at all. And every time Dolph did something, they would cheer. There was "Let's Go Ziggler" chants. It was quite funny. There was even like a little Ric Flair spot from Dolph Ziggler, which was quite funny. Anyone also noticed the "Ole, ole, 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 ole" chants during the show match? Made me think El Generico was going to pop up. That would have been awesome, by the way. If you haven't seen Final Battle, see that, by the way. Anyways, Ziggler and Cena match. Kind of what I expected. I was like, God, please don't let Cena win. Please don't let Cena win. Please, God, please. I'm not asking for much for Christmas, but just don't let him win. Matches going back and forth. Looks like Cena's gonna win. It looked like they had the big moment there as Vicky Guerrero comes out to cost Cena the match and hit him with the chair. AJ Lee comes out, and it was set up to make you think that AJ was going to take out Vicky and roll out the ring with her, and then Cena climbs back up. However, as soon as she took out Vicky and did the 5-knuckle shuffle, which looked ridiculous, Cena sets up the ladder and she's skipping around it. I thought she's going to push him off the ladder. And sure enough, Nostradamus been stuffed kicks in. Almost gave you my real name. Nostradamus been stuffed kicks in. As I said that, AJ skips, tips him off the ladder. Fans love it, eating it right up, cheering their asses off. Ziggler, if you didn't notice, hit him with a kick. But I think everyone was so caught up in the shove off the ladder that people didn't notice that. As she just looked in that psychotic way, gives Dolph the smile. I thought that they were going to jump on each other like when Edge and Lita did when Lita turned on Kane. That didn't happen, however. Dolph sets up the ladder, climbs up, takes the briefcase down. Dolph keeps the Money in the Bank briefcase. So the big things coming out of that then were Shield winning, which was great, and I'm very happy about. Big Show wins, which was good. Rhodes Scholars win, that was good. Cesaro wins, which is good, but they need to do something with him. And of course, now the AJ Lee, John Cena, Dolph Ziggler, Vicky Guerrero love square, if you want to call it, has now got a new twist in it. AJ turns on Cena. Now, where they go with it will be interesting. I think a lot of people prefer the psychotic AJ character. I know a lot of people can't stand her as a face, and these are people I speak to who are not necessarily diehard wrestling fans, and they're telling me that. So that's interesting. What's going to happen? It doesn't look like they're going to put her with Dolph. It looks like something else is going to happen. I wonder what the explanation is. Are they basically creating their own bipolar character here? Again, there's always potential with AJ Lee's character, but the thing with the character, the big problem I find is that when they overexpose her, she becomes annoying, and you just want to change the channel. And once again, they've done something with her that's interesting. Now, what they do with it, that will be interesting. And if they overexpose her again, it's just going to be like, oh, come on, guys, come on, sort it out. So, anyways, all in all, I'm not going to give you a Meltzer level ranking because I'm not good at doing that kind of stuff. The best thing I can say is I had a lot of fun watching the show. Had a lot of fun going back and forth with people on WrestlingForum.com. Place you want to check out, by the way. Apparently, I owe someone a pint of Guinness. So if you're in Camden or you're in London and you're out clubbing and you happen to see me, tap me on the shoulder and I'll get you one. Other than that, yeah, had a good time. You write your comments. Now you let me know what you think. You write some things down below. Share the video. Keep the things going. Hopefully I'll reply to you in the morning. Hopefully I don't get disrupted again as I go up the stairs. Probably I will. I will hopefully get back to all of you very, very soon, or very later, much later in the day. This is what happens when you're on sleep deprivation. I'm going to head out. I'm going to get some sleep. You lot, write your comments. Let me know what you think, and I will get back to you all soon.